Pleased to bring you this Y2 Q1 quarterly report for the 22-23 school year, highlighting the work that's been made as we implement this board's 5-year community-inspired strategic plan. The full report has already been prepared for you, but today I'll walk you through a few highlights and detail some of the important work that our team has delivered in response to the Board of Education. You're also familiar with the format, purpose, and intent of these reports. But as a reminder, the quarterlies simply outline the progress that's been made in each of the strategic actions within the plan. In efforts to reacquaint you, each action has a series of icons, as you can see here, and they represent the various phases of the work within the plan. And for each initiative and tactic, you'll note the phases of research and design, invest and implement, and complete. This afternoon, I'll provide you with actual examples of the work that's underway, which of course represents the progress that moves the strategic plan forward. Let me also underscore that the first quarter of this year's work plan represents various programming commitments that have actually begun to make their way into classrooms, the result of a series of commitments that specifically align to the priorities of our community. So, under Strategic Action 1, this is the board's direct focus on advancing learning opportunities and experiences for all students, where, among other things, stated priorities include creating more opportunities for students to access advanced coursework and learning experiences in STEM and fine arts, and developing a community of strong writers. Under the research and design phase of Strategic Action 1, we've begun to identify best instructional practices to better address the needs of students with significant cognitive disabilities. And moving over to invest and implement, the board invested in and adopted writing resources this spring, so we're now beginning to see evidence of this implementation happening in K-12 classrooms. We're also finalizing writing instruction, professional development, which will help support professionals and our leaders to implement and monitor highly effective writing instruction within our schools. And while significant progress has been made under research and design and invest and implement for Strategic Action 1, I'm pleased to share a few exciting things about this board's investments in STEM. First, Lego robotics equipment has been delivered to all elementary schools, and middle schools have purchased their supply of robots. And lessons that reinforce the use of these robots have been completed and are available in Henry Connects. And finally, a tour of our schools will reveal that STEM and robotics instruction is truly happening in classrooms, work that has been made possible in part by teachers having received training to support their instructional delivery and because of this board's investment in $600 in additional STEM materials for elementary schools. Again, STEM opportunities for students have been called for by our community and honored by this board's intent and budget prioritization. Under Strategic Action 2, Advance Effective Leadership and Classroom Instruction. This action speaks to the practices that we will deploy to ensure that our academic priorities are well executed. It's also worth noting that this board, through the strategic plan, has placed a strong emphasis on effectiveness, effective schools, effective leadership, and effective instructional delivery, each of which have been prioritized under this strategic action. Under Invest and Implement, you'll see that as we continue to deepen the work of enhancing the skills of our already strong teachers and leaders, the highly effective classroom framework was introduced to the entire district team. Professional learning continued during the first quarter with teachers and school leaders as they work to ensure effective and quality implementation. And finally, also under Invest and Implement, the district is working to ensure that course sequence alignment complements learning progressions and standards. This work helps to ensure that there is appropriate carryover from one course and grade to the next and builds on the skills that students have previously been exposed to. Through Strategic Action 3, this board has prioritized connectivity to value and engage all students, employees, families, and just as much partners in our growing community. Our team has been working to identify and activate all resources that may be of benefit to our district, including parent and community volunteers. But first, a review of current volunteer processes and procedures is underway within the research and design phase. We're also actively benchmarking effective school volunteer models from other districts, which we will use to inform the design of a new district volunteer program. Under Invest and Implement, the community's desire for a full-service welcome center is in place and continues to grow into a more expansive operation. As you can see from the photos here, it is truly a daily hub of activity within our district. During Q1, our team worked to develop streamlined processes for new students and families. One of the efficiencies that has been developed is an adapted online registration process, which will allow staff to process registrations more quickly and to ensure enhanced medical reporting, all leading to better support for students with pronounced medical disabilities. Lastly, to help meet the needs of our increasingly diverse community, under Complete, we've partnered with an organization to provide on-demand interpretation and document translation services. This partnership will help to remove communication barriers and facilitate improved engagement between schools and families. Again, each of the work priorities under Strategic Action 3, especially this one, underscore this board's commitment to ensuring improved engagement with our community while fostering deeper connection. Now, this board's desire to advance the wellness of our students and our employees is reflected in Strategic Action 4. Highlights of the progress in this area include the continued development of the Henry County Schools Comprehensive School Counseling Framework. This framework has been designed to define, align, and coordinate counseling services for all schools. But as you know, a framework is only as good as its implementation. And our Family and Student Support Services team has developed a plan that includes professional development designs, monitoring fundamentals, and corresponding timelines for full implementation. Also under Invest and Implement, our team has readied itself to move forward with the Trauma-Informed Toolkit, which was first introduced last school year. During Q1 of this year, staff members received training on the use of the toolkit, which will accelerate a full rollout later in the year. And under Complete, for all of the redesign work happening through the Comprehensive School Counseling Framework, new counselor resources and tools have been created, which is expected to lead to stronger supports and thereby creating even stronger counseling departments across our schools. And we wrap up the first quarter's work under Strategic Action 4 with a reminder that this board has recently approved Board Policy IEDA, Recess and Unstructured Break Time. This policy not only brings the district into compliance with state law, but consistent with this strategic action, helps to advance student wellness by ensuring that our students have even more daily opportunities for free play and recreation. Finally, Strategic Action 5 is all about this board's expectation that we are creating a high-performing operations culture, evidenced by efficient operations and developing systems that enable monitoring and performance accountability. Under the research and design phase of Strategic Action 5, Q1 brought lots of new and exciting work. For example, the district continues to document current systems that will aid in the development of workflows that will support the future implementation of an enterprise resource planning system. As you know, ERP is an organization's system which takes the wide variety of financial and human resource business functions that we have to manage each day and brings these together into an integrated management tool so that we can operate as efficiently as possible. This system aims to elevate the district's day-to-day general operating practices, increase connectivity among departments, all while sunsetting decade-old systems. Under Strategic Action 5, you'll also note that growth and replacement has been a clear priority during the first quarter of this year. But it was birthed out of this board's intent to make a few important investments. Financial prioritizations made apparent through a focused budget development process and capital accumulation. Designated savings are among the most obvious commitments that have been made. But allow me to go further to lift up some of the specific actions that this board has taken and the results that they have produced. Starting with your authorization of our very first Strategic Action Capital Accumulation Fund, investments were identified to support the purchase of STEM equipment for elementary labs and to pilot the acquisition of new furniture and equipment to replace aging furniture at regular cycles. Investments of this sort have led to deeper thinking around how best to systematize the process of resourcing our schools, resulting in the development of an elementary school asset manual, which is nearing completion, and a middle school and high school asset manual that is currently under development. Second, I point to the community-approved eSPLOST 6 priority of robotics and fine arts equipment purchases. And the result of those investments are beginning to actually manifest in schools. It's not simply been by chance that every school now has choral programming, and the robotics and STEM is an academic option for every Henry County student. There's also more to come. For example, next year, orchestra will be a common opportunity for all Henry County middle schools, thereby increasing student access to fine arts. What began as this board's vision to respond to the needs of our schools by prioritizing growth and replacement has been accelerated by the Board of Education into an expansive responsibility that requires the build-out of a system to acquire, manage, and monitor inventory. And we're in the process of building that system. Our view of asset management and the opportunity that we have as an organization is to improve. The organization to improve has now expanded beyond solely standardized classroom equipment and furniture, but now also includes categories of the arts, STEM, and athletics. The third capital accumulation fund established by the board has resulted in clear commitments to address athletic facility and equipment needs through an asset management overview. We're only at the early stages of this work, but can see clear priorities to address Austin Road Middle School and Stockbridge Middle School field facilities, and we're close to identifying the next phase of athletic equipment. What this signifies is that through the guidance of this Board of Education, the superintendent has carefully planned for both growth and replacement and asset management, which will benefit all of our schools. Of course, this strategic plan is community inspired, and so we'll soon be returning back to our community to share the progress on the work that has been called for and to receive feedback. As you can see from the schedule that's been provided, we'll be hosting a series of community conversations in every cluster starting in a few weeks on October 24th at Ola High School. For all of the work that's been accomplished during the first quarter of the second year of this 5-year strategic plan, you'll note that one clear theme weaves across the strategic actions is the work of building reliable systems that ensures the quality implementation of every aspect of this strategic plan, which began in the boardroom and is now showing up in classrooms and throughout the entire district. Superintendent Davis, this concludes all that I have prepared. I turn it back over to you.